sit. This greeting routine that we have taught Rio really helps with the jumping issue, and we do it every day with somebody different. He knows like 5 or 6 different people here, including myself. Go. Come. It's a great way to practice. Good. Your come command, your sit stay. We do it with people that he likes, of course, and I've done it with a couple of strangers as well. And it's a great way to practice his levels of calmness and concentration in what would be, for most dogs, a very exciting situation. Coming out, somebody's in the yard. Oh, hi, I know you. I haven't seen you for a day or two. But no, if you want to go say hi and you want to get the treat that they're offering to you, you have to play this game. In his mind, it's a game the way that you know it's played, because we practice it a lot. So he knows how this goes. He sits and waits till I come back. No. And if he jumps the gun like that, you say no. You do this little reset. Literally, we're turning him away from his mistake, resetting, gives his brain a chance to refresh, do it the right way the second time. It's a really important thing to do if he makes a mistake, because if you don't do that, he can easily get caught in the mistake or in the pattern of mistake after mistake after mistake. So he makes a mistake, turn him away from his mistake, reset, try it again. You'll see that most times on the second try, he'll do it the right way. So see how I'm keeping the leash loose? My right hand goes down there, nope. And if he leaves, I just do this and say no, and he puts himself back. Make sure he doesn't touch your hand. See that, how my hand is right there? Nope. Nope. I'm really making him wait now. Go. Goes, takes a treat. Come. He gets petted. Good. There's no jumping at all. Because at first, of course, he jumped like crazy. He just had a bath. I think he has water in his ears. He's freshly bathed now. That's why he's shaking his head. When he first started doing this, he was jumping all over the people, obviously. That was one of his issues. He's very sweet and friendly, but he's very energetic and was a little bit out of control when he was very excited. So practicing this exercise every day with members of your family and people that come by, it's always best done out in front of your house or in an open area. Inside is going to be harder for you to do, because notice that, let's do this again really quick. Here we go. No. Notice that when I send him over, go, I say come, and I back away. See how I back away and it makes him come back to me? You need some space to do it. Also, it's a lot more relaxing for a dog to meet somebody sit on the outside and not in a closed space, a more neutral area, which could even be your driveway or your front sidewalk or someplace like that. So that's the greeting routine. And you see, we're really making sure that he really sits and waits. I'll even throw in a sit stay before I send him over. And of course, that person has a treat. And make sure the person, when the dog comes over, when he comes over to them, that he's offering the food. So when he comes over, offer it to him, okay? Like that. And then if he does jump on the person, or even looks like he's about to, call him to come, because his recall is really good now. Go. So let's pretend he was starting to jump. Come. Call him back to you. Good. That's one of the reasons why he doesn't jump so much anymore. Sit, because I could tell when he was getting really excited about to jump, so I just call him away. And as we kept doing it, the period that I would let him stay over there became longer and longer and longer until he just didn't jump anymore. So this would be a great exercise for you and your family to continue doing. Just with each other would be a huge improvement from what you had before. Okay, we walk Rio up to the mat. We have him sit first. He has to wait for permission to go onto the mat. With your right hand, you're going to pat his chest and say, go, and then down. See how I walked over with him? He's smelling other dogs that we've done this exercise with. And if you have, when you get a mat, and I hope that you'll do this at home, good. When you use your mat, there won't be a bunch of other dogs that have been on it before him, so he won't have a bunch of smells that will distract him in the beginning. But in a way, it's kind of better that we're showing you how he does this exercise when he's a little more distracted than usual by smells or something else, because we want to show you how he is distractions in general, and how to have him be successful at doing these exercises when he's a little bit distracted. Good. You see how I'm rewarding him? The delivery of the reward is very important. How you do it is what matters. It's all about, with all of this training, it's about how you do it. It's about timing. It's about delivering the reward calmly. And I'll do it again. See, I'm holding it just like this. I'm holding it like this. This is a natural balance sausage, which I'll bring you some of that stuff when I deliver him. And this is lamb and chicken. It's the training treat we've been using the whole time that he's been here. So I hold a piece of that. I set it on the mat. See how he's waiting? Good. He takes it, and I say good the moment he takes it. If you say a word like good at the moment he takes the reward, at that moment, he'll start having a great association with that word, and then later on you don't have to give him the treat, but say the word, and he'll feel extra good about that word. So it's really simple, but timing is everything. You're not going to reward him and then say good after he took it, or say good before he takes it. Say it at the moment he takes it. So it's very clear that there's an association between the word and the reward. Good. And that waiting for me, that 2-3 seconds there, he's really intensely focused on waiting. That's when he's calm. And that's also very respectful of you. So if he's trying to take it out of your hand, or if you're throwing it down and you're moving quickly and in a jerky fashion, this exercise won't help you much, because this is all about having his mind be super calm. And he's only going to be as calm as a person doing this with him. So he hasn't been here for the full program, but we've gotten quite a ways with him. He obviously can handle a downstay, walking all the way around him. And we're in a fenced yard, so if I drop the leash and walk farther away, and you're going to show where I'm walking, right? And I do something like this, open the gate, and go out, and now show Rio. See how he's waiting there? And he stays there successfully. He gets a reward, and I'm going to give him 2 pieces. If he does something exceptional, give him a bigger reward. Good. Now let's try something that might be difficult for him to handle, because I'd like to show you him making a mistake in this video and showing you how I correct that mistake. So show me what I'm doing, and then go back to Rio. First gate, he's cool with. He used to make a mistake every time, by the way, with this one. So I'm going to go out this gate and disappear onto the street, and I'm going to remind him, down. Go out here for just a split second, close the door behind me, come back, and he's staying there. So if he had popped up like I thought he was going to do, I would have said no. I would have gently but firmly, I would have taken the leash, I would have put him back on the mat. I would have done it again, but maybe made it a little easier so he can have some successes, working back up to what I just did. And then after the success, good. When he makes a mistake, if he did make a mistake, no reward. You come back, you put him back on the mat, and I'll show you right now. We'll pretend that he made a mistake. Let's do a couple other things. Maybe he'll make a mistake this way. So a lot of dogs, when they come here, all I have to do is pull on this leash. See, he did it. Okay, he made a mistake. You say no. Step into him. Put him back. You don't say D-O-W-N again. You already said it once. You want that first command to hold for the next 5 minutes if need be. Less is more. Less commands. As you can see, we don't say stay. I don't need stay. He knows that down means to stay. He knows that sit means to stay. And less talking, only saying it once. Gently but firmly reinforcing mistake with a leash. We're never not using a leash when the dog is not quite trained yet, of course. Only dogs that are off leash are dogs that are very well trained and don't need a leash anymore. You work up to that, of course. So you always have a leash, so you can always gently but firmly reinforce that command if he makes a mistake. So you saw what I did. I put him back, and we'll try it again. If I know that he's going to have some sort of a problem doing what I'm trying to get him to do, like ignoring a distraction, he keeps popping up, for example, I'm going to say, before I try it, I'm going to say down, just to remind him. No. So this is great. So I found a mistake that I can show you how I can work up to having him be successful at it. See how I step into him, I reset him, and I just put him back like that. There's no bending over, there's no snapping your fingers, there's no shushing noises or pointing or any of that. It's very simple. It's just put him back. If I wasn't talking to you, I just would have said one word, no, reset him, down. See that? Double reward. Good. So on the third try, he stayed there. On the fourth try, he stayed there and I didn't even have to say down. Good, he got a reward. The times he made a mistake, no reward, reset him, try it again. So that's exactly how you're going to deal with issues with him breaking out of downstays like this. And it's best to do the mat every day after he comes back to you for a while, because this mat is the way that you develop a rock solid downstay anywhere. And so I do it usually 5 minutes a day, and I practice all kinds of things, walking around, walking away, coming back, leaving the yard, coming back. And at this point, even though he's not finished with the training program, he hasn't spent the whole 21 days here, he still is doing really well, but you need to continue all these things so that he has this for life. That's why I'm making the video for you, so you see all the details and you just continue doing all the things that I've been doing. The beauty of the mat is, after a few weeks of doing this consistently, and you're comfortable with my moves as well, it's really important that you are comfortable with doing it this way as well. And it will take maybe a few days and watching the video a few times, even after our lesson together, for you to do what I'm doing. But you practice on the mat with the downstay, because later on he'll be perfect without the mat. So the mat is a fast track to a rock solid downstay eventually anywhere. When you're going to release him out of a downstay, we only release him when we come back next to him. Never call him out of a downstay or sit stay, because calling him out of a downstay or sit stay will build anticipation, create anticipation, and of course, you start doing that, what's he gonna be doing? He's gonna be on a hair trigger just waiting for you to do the hand signal or whatever they do at dog shows. So we're after a rock solid down where he knows no matter what happens, where you go, what passes by, who comes up, even if you step away, he only leaves one way, and that is when you come back to get him. You pat your leg and say, okay. He gets up, sit, and you release him from a calm sit stay. More of that pausing and him waiting. No, don't let him touch your hand. Nope. 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 See how I'm doing it? Go. And he gives up. He does it your way. The reason he's trying to touch my hand is that somebody's always had a treat in their hand ever since he was, could remember. That hand might have something in there to eat. So we're breaking him of that habit, but not with corrections, just showing him that, hey, unless you do it my way, you're going to be here forever. And so he gives up, he gets released. You see how releasing him from a calm sit stay just builds this calmness in him. This mat exercise builds calmness in the dog. You have to release him calmly so that at this point, very fragile calmness we're trying to build up in him, which is very brand new, that builds and gets stronger and stronger. If you release him straight out of it down and say, okay, he'll jump up and run around, and you'll destroy that fragile calmness that we're trying to build in him, which he never had before, which is why you sent him to me. Okay. All right. Sit. Okay, good. You never repeat the command. Stay is built into sit, so when you say stay, he knows that he stays there until he's released. He waits to be released, so you don't have to do the hand signals and the repeating stay and all that kind of stuff. When he's practiced a little basic sit-stay like that, and you want to reward him, see how I have the reward by my face? He's literally looking in my eyes at this moment. Good, and continues to as he gets the treat. straight down. It seems like a little thing. It's very subtle, but if you're rewarding him with eye contact in a sit stay like this, it's very powerful, and it's so much more powerful than the giant hand coming out of the sky and it's somehow connected to his servant, you know. So this is a very dominant way dominant, but at the same time safe for him to reward him. Eye contact, he gets a treat, looking up to you. So notice I didn't bend over, I didn't do this, I didn't do any of that. It was just really easy, just straight down. So I thought he was going to break out of his sit stay, but he didn't. But if he were to, let's pretend he made a mistake. Okay, so let's pretend that he popped up before I released him. You're going to say no. You step into him, do this little reset with a tiny bit of leash tension. You're not jerking, popping. You notice through all this little video I'm making for you, there's no rough stuff, there's no jerking, there's no popping, there's no hauling him around, because tension on the leash and excessive this kind of stuff stresses a dog out, and it would be much harder for him to be this calm if he was always being stressed out by constant leash tension and corrections. So he's calm because he's been handled in a calm way. And he's learning really well too, because when you're calmer and you're happier, you trust the people that are handling you, you're going to be able to focus and learn things faster. Makes sense, right? So that's what's happened with him. I reset him. I said no. I reset him. I applied a little, just a little bit of tension on the leash. His butt hit the ground. I released it, and then we finish it. So let's say he made a mistake when I walked around him. I'll even drop the leash now and walk away. Pick it up. This, picking up the leash can, he did it again. Nope. Can often trigger a dog to pop up. And I was hoping he would, so I could show you. So let's say everything else is good and you did something that was great, he stayed there, but you went to pick up the leash and he made a mistake then. Well, we're going to work on that. See, he's far enough along that when he makes a mistake, he realizes what he's done. You do it again. You reset him, you do it again. Good. He has a success. You reward him. The way to release him from the sit stay, he's going to be on your left like this. He always waits till you come back next to him, just like releasing out of it down. With your right hand, you pat his chest. Nope. And you see me do it already before. Go. And as long as he's not nuzzling your hand or licking it or something, that's okay. Just make sure that when you go down to release him like that, he's not messing with your hand in some way. And over time, he'll start just ignoring that and having his head up higher, and you can just pat his chest and say, go. Okay. When I'm practicing the come command with Rio, I always do it the same way. If you always do it the same way, it will become like second nature and automatic. And it'll be way easier that way. So what I do is when I'm walking him, it's always left hand leash. And see how it's over my hand, it's on my wrist. So if he pulls me or something like that, see how I just tapped him and he came back to me? Good. There's two moves, and I've showed you the first one, which is to step into him. Two moves that are very dominant. Sit, and I think are the basic moves of dog training to make the dog feel safe and like you're in charge. There's that stepping into him, your body shows him where to go. Nope. And go. And then the other move is to back away, because when you back away, they're drawn to you. So if I want to practice calling him to come, I'm going to back away. Good. So see how I have control over the leash with my left hand, but I can still come because it's free. Good. Grab the leash or the collar if he was off leash for some reason, so that he couldn't grab the treat and run away again, because that's a problem a lot of people will have. But he's used to you taking the leash or the collar now because of what I've been doing, and you have to do it the same way I've been doing it. Always do that, because I'm going to let him drink some water. A lot of dogs, smart dogs, and he's very smart, will realize they can come to you and grab the treat and run off before you can grab them. So that's useless. So always make sure that he's used to you hooking your hand under that collar or grabbing the leash by his, right by where it's connected to the collar. Backing away makes the dog come, run back to you. Good. I have a right-hand target that has a reward in it. You're always making a fist because in an emergency situation, when he's off leash, there's no reward. God forbid he's running out into the street. All you have is just pretending that you have something in here. Come! He comes running back to you. Good boy, love him up, even though you don't give him a treat. Coming when called has to be a very enjoyable experience always. So always, for him, always love him up if you don't have a treat for some reason, or give him treats, because that's the only way that it's going to work in a crisis situation. He sees a squirrel, another dog cross the street, something like that. He needs to love to come back to you when called. And that's how you do it. Back away, use your target. No half open hands or anything like that. It's really easy. Target hand, call him to that. And then his nose touches it, you say good as you give him the treat. The other hand grabs the leash or the collar. Just what I demonstrated. Okay. Here I come. Okay. Sit. I always have him sit at gateways, doorways. You should probably stand there so you can see this. So see how I have him sit? I had him sit before I open the gate. He's sitting waiting. I'm stepping through the boundary. He's waiting for me to come back because he only goes through boundaries with me. Okay. And see, if he has the tendency to pull through a gate or a doorway, I slow down or even stop at the threshold, which is where they're really going to pull. And I just did a little tap. Nothing rough, really easy. Okay. And that teaches him to slow down and calm down, because I have a feeling he was pulling you guys through gateways and doorways and things like that, because that's what he was doing when he first came here. So we're starting our walk. We did that same exact thing at my front door. We did it here at the gate, and now we're going to do it at the curb. Sit. And so the whole sequence would take probably less than 2 minutes. Every day we come out in public and we start our walk this way, because on the inside of your front door, when you put the leash on, that's when the training starts. And this is a sit stay at a curb out in public. And now we're going to cross the street. Okay, I always treat the curbs as a boundary as well, and I treat going through the street as a controlled exercise, because we want him to really respect those boundaries of curbs. We want him to sit instead of racing across the street, pulling you across the street, or himself racing across the street. This is the calm zone now, and he waits at all curbs, and he doesn't cross that curb unless he's with you. It's not that he's going to automatically, forever later on, always follow that rule without a leash, and especially if you're not there, but we sure are making it a lot more likely that he's not just going to bound out there and run across the street and get hit by a car just on the spur of the moment. So any pattern that you practice a lot in this way will start to become ingrained, and it definitely will help your issue if you were having those issues with him. And you see how calm he is because of the way I started the walk inside my house? Nope. Nope. Go. Now this is how our walk starts, okay? He's in the zone, so to speak. There's no pulling, there's no craziness. When I'm walking with him, and he's on free time now, if I want him to stop pulling, I just stop. I let him go to the end of the leash. He goes to the end of the leash and feels that tension and backs up. You see how that just happened? I'm going to go this way, so show us walking this way. So even if I walk fast, see how I just let him go to the end of the leash and then he stopped? And if that's for some reason not working for you, because of course I've been practicing for a couple of weeks now with him like this, come, use your recall to call him back to you, because the more you call him back to you, the more he's going to start realizing you're not just an object to drag around out in public, and that you're actually in charge, and he's going to start kind of, in a way, hovering closer to you, because what is the pattern now? You're always calling him to you, and he's always coming away from distractions, people, other dogs, whatever you're calling him away from, and coming to you and getting paid. You see, I've got the reward. He's sniffing something now. Come. And always call him away from something. Good. Wait till at least he turns his head. Sit. To look at something before you call him. Don't ever call him when he's staring at you lovingly, because that's not a real life situation. What's a real life situation is he's sniffing something gross on the ground. He sees a dog or a cat or a bird or a skateboarder, whatever it is that is his distraction. Go. And you call him away from it. And that's why it gets better and better as you practice that way. So always practice in as much of a real life context as possible. Always keep that leash loose. Never let him pull you. So this kind of stuff, controlling, setting yourself up like, oh, he's going to pull, I better choke up. It's actually this tension on the leash that causes the pulling. You're anticipating he's going to pull me like you did yesterday on our walk, and then you get ready for that, and that's what actually triggers it to happen worse every time. And leash tension creates all kinds of stress and tension in the dog, and they're way more likely to act out on the street, barking, pulling over towards people, even leash aggression with other animals or people sometimes. You never know. You never know over time where it goes, because every day you do this and he pulls you around out on the street, whatever issue he has gets worse over time. So you always keep that leash loose. You either handle him so that he is not pulling you, just like this, and letting him go to the end of the leash. Don't let him pull you around like that. You see people all the time, even with a little tiny Chihuahua. Some big guys letting some little tiny dog pull him around. You don't have to do that. You just let him go to the end of the leash. He'll go to the end of the leash, and it'll be loose like that. And you'll see over time, if you do it the way I've been doing it, you see the results of it in just a couple of weeks. He'll be so much easier to walk, but you have to do what I've been doing. If you go back to doing what you did before, he will do with you the same as he did with you before he came to me. But if you practice this way that I've been doing it, over time you'll be having the same results. That's really important. You have to do what I'm doing to have the same results. That's why we're making the video. Okay, let's go this way.